Welcome to 17 Strong. Victories don't come by accident. Here's your host, Steve Teixeira.
Thanks, Andy. Welcome to another 17 Strong podcast. I'm your host, Steve Teixeira, along with my beautiful wife, Holly. Hi, babe.
Hey, how are you?
Good. You're a little under the weather today, but
We're back so soon on a new year, on our New Year's. We're doing this, aren't we?
you are.
Yeah.
You're doing it.
Yeah.
So, very special guest with us today, as always, and Gary and Christine Jarrett. But probably more special about this is the connection they have to 17 Strong.
Absolutely.
So why don't you tell everybody what Christine does for us?
Christine is on our board, so we're super thankful for that. She is in the treasury role, something that I'm not great at and hate the dealing with the money. So Steve kind of passed that off to her. So between him and her, they work really well together, and they do a lot of the financials for 17 Strong. So thank you. And thanks for being here, you guys. Of course.
It's great to have you guys.
Pleasure.
Yeah.
Pleasure to
This
be
is
here.
awesome.
So we're not going to talk about cancer.
I know.
We're-
Thank
we're-
you. This is great.
You know,
This is just a sigh of relief.
And this is along the lines of everybody has a battle.
Yeah.
Everybody's life, you know, no matter what you look at, when you see someone walking down the street, somebody has something going on.
Right.
We don't know what it is. It's not our position to judge. You know, we're called to love one another. That's really what this is about. And Gary, you've got a battle that
Are you going to go there now?
I want to go there now because I think it's so important for our
Okay.
listeners
All right,
to
let's
know
do it.
that Gary, you're fighting ALS, also known as Lou Gehrig's disease. I'm not going to give the medical terminology for
I know.
that because I would choke on that. But we're so excited to have you here and know that your battle is a big battle and you have a lot of support behind you, and we're part of that support, including you in our prayers and everything. But why don't you start by telling our listeners a little bit about yourself, and just give us the history of how this all came about.
Tell us about yourself first. Let's do that.
Okay. Well, let's see. I was born in Canada, so that's different.
Canadian,
Right?
eh?
I'm a Canadian, yes.
Right.
Love it.
My family, or my dad was a radar technician during World War II. And then when he ended World War II, he started a family, and we were born all over the country. And even my first sister was born on the Queen Mary, heading over to England.
Wow.
Second sister was born in England.
Oh, my goodness.
And then a brother in Texas and a brother in Virginia. And then they moved up to Canada, and then I was born. I was a good mistake, 7 years
Oh, good mistake.
after my,
there are no mistakes.
my closest sibling.
That's funny.
So, and then I don't know how many years we were up there. All my siblings still remember it because of the snow.
Okay.
And then we moved down to Anaheim, and that's kind of where I grew up, was down in Anaheim.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you have.
Are you the baby?
citizenship- Yeah, he's the baby then.
Yes.
You're
by
the baby-
by 7 years.
Oh, wow. Okay. So,
Yeah.
yeah, you do have.
So citizenship in your family ranges from U.S. citizens to UK and Canadian.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes. And I mean, we're U.S. citizens because we were born, both our parents are U.S. But I have a security clearance, and they still, if I do my 5-year update, I still got to answer the same questions all the time and give them proof that I'm a U.S. citizen. So,
Wow.
you know,
That's pretty cool.
Wow.
yeah. So we were in Anaheim till I was 12, and then we moved up to Napomo. My dad started a mobile home business because he was having issues with the smog and all that stuff down in LA. So he started Ed's Mobile Homes in Napomo, which is where the swap meet is now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep, that's where he was there, and had that for a number of years.
That was a long time ago because that's
many years ago. Yep,
Yeah.
yep. And John Schaefer and I, we set mobile homes together.
That's hilarious.
Yep.
That's what you did in high school, huh?
That's what I did in college. John was in high school. Yeah. So
Yeah.
we started out moving furniture throughout the homes and doing whatever we could. It was a great job, right?
Great
It was always
job,
there.
yeah.
It was perfect.
Yeah.
So, and then
When did you
moved
met Christine?
that would be, met her probably 74, 75 when we were playing baseball, 13-year-olds.
Yes, him and my brother played baseball. So that,
Oh, wow.
I mean, they were 13 and 12, 13. I was
Yep.
11.
Yeah.
Oh my
So I always had,
wow.
I always had my eye on her.
Even then.
Even
Such
that,
a young age.
I know.
Okay.
And being 2 years older than her, that, you know, was, I felt, man, she's really attractive and she's really young too. But
Right. Could be a good
once you get older, when you're 17, 15 doesn't seem as bad.
No, right. I agree. I agree.
That's when we started dating. Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
15,
really?
I was 15 and a half.
And how did your mom and dad think about that?
Well, they were fine. They told all of us girls, well, we couldn't date till we were 16.
Okay.
But they loved Gary. Gary was like a son to my parents because, again, they grew up playing baseball, and so they let me start dating 6 months earlier.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
All the rules went out the window.
Yes.
Wow.
yes.
How lucky are you?
You're not the baby of the family, right?
No.
No.
My sister Patty is, and then me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's usually you find it the baby of the family, all the rules get wiped out for it, and they get whatever.
I think because there were 6 kids, so yeah. By the time it got down to us, the last ones, it was kind of like
the 4 in
okay.
front of you. No, these are the rules, and this is
Exactly.
Yes, except Bobby. I mean, Bobby, and that's Gary and Bobby were good friends and just played baseball together. I mean, you tell them about they won the World Series for Babe Ruth.
No, we
He
didn't.
was
We lost in the World Series. We won the state championship and the regional championship twice when we were 13 and 15.
Wow. What an accomplishment.
Yeah. When we were 13, they didn't have a championship for 13-year-olds or World Series. When we were 15, we went to Newark, Ohio, and got blown out. We played like crap there. So that
And
was
this was
disappointing.
Babe Ruth.
It was Babe Ruth, yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's
Oh,
so
yeah,
cool.
they
And
traveled.
that has not happened again since remember that last group?
Yeah, that was.
No, that was 2007.
We just had that group that won
Yeah.
just a
That's-
few years ago.
Yeah.
3 years ago.
Was it only 3 years ago?
Because those kids are now on the high school team and they have a really
Yeah,
good team.
they're all seniors in high school right now.
Okay.
So that would be, so that's 4 years. So probably it's been 5 years ago. So probably 2020.
Yeah, and it's hard. You know,
20
we got the COVID blur, so
Yeah.
everything is
So, because I don't know, but it was, between 2018 and 2020. I don't remember the exact year, but you're right.
But many years in between. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's a great accomplishment here in a little Arroyo Grande.
Yep. And we just had all the local kids, and it was great. And
That's
we were very
awesome.
fortunate. Yeah.
That's awesome.
We love baseball, as you know.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so,
Kazi Keta was he was the president of Babe Ruth.
Kosiketa, I don't know.
You remember that's
Keta.
Varden Stan's
Oh,
dad.
yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, that's fun.
He's
Yep.
terrific, man.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about your kids. You want to talk about them, Christine?
Yes, sure.
No grandkids yet.
No grandkids yet. It took us a long time to get our kids. We went through We went through infertility, and it was a struggle. You know, when you talk about going through. We've been through a lot in our many years together. So Evan is now 31. And Nathan is 27, and 2 boys.
And they're
So
both
you guys
married.
Know what that's like?
Happily married.
Mhm, they are, and they both have moved recently. Nathan and Megan are in Tennessee, and Evan and Michelle are in Texas.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Wow.
That's
But
great. You guys have a place to travel.
We do, yes.
Yep.
You just got back from there, actually. You had a
Yes.
long road trip.
We did.
Yeah.
We did.
That's awesome. So you guys have been dating since you were 15?
And 17.
17.
And then when did you get married?
We got married in 84, so I was 20. Gary was 22.
Okay. That never happens anymore, right? You're like, the kids are like,
Graduated
yay.
from Cal Poly June 14th, and
Yes.
we were married the 30th and started work a week
Okay.
later
Yes.
down
Wow.
at Bunker Ramo down in, it's actually where Oaks Christian College, Christian High School is right now. That was our building.
Okay.
That was your building.
Yeah.
And have you always worked so did you work in defense? Is
It's
that,
defense, software development. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's defense stuff. Yeah.
and that's what you've always done?
Yep. Yep.
And
Ever
Christine?
College, huh?
Yep. Still like it.
You love it. I love
Yes.
it. Yeah.
Well, we moved away, just for 1 year, and then I was so homesick. I'm like, we have to go back to Arroyo Grande. So we did.
Yeah.
And then Gary got back on with the company. He did, what'd you do? Your senior project.
Did our senior project for him.
For Cal Poly. And he's been there, ever since.
Wow. And did you start your bookkeeping business right away?
So, I've been doing bookkeeping a lot at that time, just working for other businesses. And then once we had the boys, I stayed home for.
Originally, you're doing paralegal. For
Yes,
a number of years.
I did.
Yeah.
I did do that. Yeah, I went through a paralegal course when we were living down there, came back up, and I did work for a number of attorneys here in the
nice.
area. Yes.
And then you wanted your own schedule when you had kids and all that other stuff.
Yes. Yeah, I stayed home for 8 years, and then a bookkeeping job came up at a church, and I worked there for about 11 years.
It's awesome. And then you just had a few here and there and had to pick and choose.
Yes, and then I left there and then just started doing my own business of it. Yeah,
That's awesome.
but I'm pretty much retired from that now.
Yeah,
Since
which is
things
great.
have kind of
And what
been
about
happening
you?
with
Would
Gary.
you consider yourself semi-retired or retired or
Not
none of the
retired
above?
at all. I'm working extra in general. Yeah.
Yes.
So we have
working
our regular contract, and then we're doing some business development on the side. Yep. So
And do you work from home now?
most of the time, yeah. This week I'm not going to be in the office. Next week I'll probably be in there 3 days. So every week is going to be a little bit different. Yeah. But I love it, and it's great being able to attend meetings virtually.
Yeah.
And still get work done. Well, you may not need to be the most involved. So
Right.
Yeah,
works out
but
terrific.
you're still in the loop.
Yes.
You still know what's going on.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Yeah. And even when we go on vacation, I work a little bit just so when I get back, it's not a pain to get back in
Catch up.
stride.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And they're based at Vandenberg? Where are they based at?
Well, our contract, the people that we work for, the National Reconnaissance Office, the NRO.
Okay.
So they operate all the spy satellites and stuff like that. So all the national security payloads were part of that.
Gotcha.
They're launched at Cape Canaveral and Vandenberg. So we have 9 people at Cape Canaveral.
And so what does your job entail, if you can talk about it? Do you write code or what?
I write the code. So
You write the codes.
The code that I work on is really a kind of a launch display system that is used in all the control centers at Vandenberg and at Cape Canaveral. And then we broadcast it out on a worldwide classified network, as well as people can come in via VPN approved users and see it around the world for situational awareness of what's going on during the launch. Yeah.
How neat is that?
During all the satellite launches, is that what?
Yes, and all the rehearsals. So we're quite busy. Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty impressive.
So it's still going after 30 some years.
Yeah.
So
And how did you get involved in that line?
well, our original contract was just at Vandenberg, and we used to do ground guidance of the Titan 34Ds when I first started. And then that ground guidance was the computers on the ground, the radars on the ground, sending commands back and forth, and then up to the thing. Well, now all that information is done on the rocket itself, on the booster.
Gotcha.
So
Wow. Technology has evolved
yes,
everywhere.
so that contract just went away, and we were able to kind of move forward with some other specialties that we did. Which one of this is the launch display system. The other one is a trajectory analysis team that says, the NRO wants the satellite to go here, and we verify that it will go there based on all these thousands of parameters. Yeah.
Wow.
So we have
I always joke, like I'm not a rocket scientist.
Well, we're talking to
Literally
one.
have one
Yeah.
in here. Yeah. Well, whatever.
So you're good at math.
I'm good at math.
good at math.
I did
Thank the Lord, someone is.
math and physics throughout. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
And I still like it. So.
You still like
You
it.
still love
That's
it.
yeah. It just blows me away that there's a lot to know.
Yeah.
You accidentally click on something in your computer and you see the code string. You're like, okay, I'm not supposed to be here. I don't even know what those
Do you have the
commas, X's, and O's mean.
I know. Do you have like the authorization to ixnay, abort the whole
No.
thing?
No,
You
that's
do not have
us.
that.
No, nope.
That is not you.
We just
Your
provide all.
stuff
We
has
no.
got to be done
We provide
prior
all the
to-
information, right, for the management team.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's all the mainly the Air Force folks that would
Okay.
be deciding that. Yep.
Wow. Pretty impressive.
I always think, oh gosh, it's gonna go 5, 4, and then they get to like 3, and it's like abort. Like, gosh, anticlimactic. Like, that's so maddening.
Yeah.
For a lot of people.
I know, and I can only imagine all the people involved. in
Yeah,
it.
the
It's
people
just so-
involved that have been sitting on console for 8 hours. Yeah.
Yes.
And then they go, oh, we're going to do it again tomorrow.
Yes.
So,
crazy.
Gary, tell us how you were diagnosed, when you were diagnosed, how your diagnosis came to be.
Well, I was diagnosed officially December of 20. So, and before that, I had noticed even a few years when you start looking at things, right? You look and go, oh yeah, that probably was an indicator, right? But I used to never have an issue getting motivated to ride bikes or do anything physical. I would just go and just have a great time. And it was like the toughest thing was just getting dressed. Once I was dressed, I was like, oh, I'm not going to have a great time. And I started just feeling like 5-7 years prior to that, I kind of had to motivate myself. It was really tough and things like that. And I thought, well, it's probably just age, right? Just age. And then I would build up to a certain fitness level and I couldn't get any further, it seemed like, no matter how hard I pushed. And it was a little weird. So then, we just kept doing our thing. And then when Christine and I would walk quite a bit, hikes or just around the neighborhood and stuff. And then when COVID hit, we were doing even more walking.
Oh, sure.
Right. So I would kind of fall behind a little bit. And then Christine noticed my feet kind of plopping, plop, plop, versus, kind of springy. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of one of the things is foot drop or ALS. Oh. So, Christine kind of diagnosed it herself. Actually, she found it on the internet, foot drop.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, that's what you... And one of the first things was ALS, and I thought, oh, there's no way, right? There's no way.
Yeah.
So I remember we were up visiting Conjeta at the time, I think, when you saw that. And I was like, okay. So we just kept doing our thing and went through a series of tests where they looked at my back, all kinds of different things on why my feet I couldn't pick them up very well, go the other way. That's why I have the braces right now.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if I take these braces off, my feet just kind of fall down.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So let me interrupt you right there for our listeners, because you know that they're going to go Google it if they don't know what it is. Can you give us the layman's version of ALS?
It's just a degenerative muscle disease, neuromuscular disease. Yeah. And right now the treatment I am on has been around for quite a while, and they say it pushes things out 10%. Yeah. So right now the doctors feel like I'm progressing very slowly, and I feel like I am too.
Good.
Because sometimes it happens and people are gone after 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. So
No, I would agree with that, because we've known you for quite a while, and I think it's only been the last, I could be wrong, 5 months that you're even using the help to walk.
Yeah.
But
it's getting more. It started in my toe, in my feet. Yeah.
And
So it's coming that way.
It's coming that way.
Instead of sometimes it goes like starts.
Yeah, but it started in the head or something like that.
And
That's
then
when
that's when it's hard.
Yes.
yes,
People
that's
seem
when
to go
because then you
a
can't
lot
people
quicker then.
can't breathe and stuff.
You can't breathe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so the treatment for ALS, what does that look like for you? I know treatment's different for everybody, but what kind of program do they have you on?
All I'm doing is I'm taking 2 pills a day called Riluzole. Mm-hmm. And I didn't want to change my life and go crazy with weird treatments and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so I said, I just want to live my life and open my life up to other people and enjoy life with other people, really.
Yeah.
Good. Well, you're definitely opening your life up to other people.
Absolutely.
I mean, I saw Christine's sister who had pancreatic cancer battle that to the end. And it's not a pretty...
It's
not a pretty ending.
It's not.
No,
Yeah.
not at all. Not at all.
Pancreatics, I think it's got to be the worst one. I really do. We've lost quite a few people from pancreatic, and it is what those people go through is just horrific. And it's not only horrific on them, but their family as well. I mean, Christine, you can attest to that.
Yeah.
Super.
So
Yeah, they normally, by the time they find that cancer, it's
too late.
It's too late. Yeah.
Yeah.
Normally.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, I mean, ALS is, how long did it take you from when you were having symptoms to diagnosis? Because I know it's not an easy diagnosis either.
I think we started in the spring.
yes,
So it would
because
have been over 6, I'd say 9 months.
yeah, you started going to the doctor to get. They were thinking, maybe a pinched nerve. That's why.
And that's what my main guy said. Oh, yeah, you probably have a pinched nerve. Yeah.
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 Yeah. So,
But
Well,
then
a
they
healthy,
did-
active guy. I mean, ALS
Yeah.
not on your rate.
Yeah.
I mean, it's no different than Ryan. Healthy, young, baseball playing.
Yeah.
You know,
Athlete,
cancer's
but
not on the radar.
No.
You know.
Yeah.
You never
Yeah.
think this stuff.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, and then you went to the neurologist here locally, and that's when they did some other testing and a bunch of blood work to.
Basically, they rule everything out.
Yeah.
Every single thing else out. And then they say, well, it's got to be ALS.
Yeah.
So they like check the boxes. You don't have this. You don't have this. You don't have this. You don't have this.
Right.
Yeah.
So they don't want it to be ALS. Nobody
Right.
wants it.
Yes.
But that's how they have to diagnose it. Mm-hmm. Seems so.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they do these, they measure nerve endings. So they measure the time it takes for them to do something up here, and it gets down to my feet and vice versa and stuff like that.
Oh.
Yeah. And I remember the first time I took that test was up in San Luis, and I was so intrigued with it, how it all worked and stuff like that.
Is it electrical stimulation?
Yeah. And I was trying to hit the doctor with, hey, what do you think? What are your thoughts? Is this normal? Is all this stuff?
Yeah.
He goes, well, I can't say anything. I'm just going to report the results to the doctor. And
I want to know.
yeah. And then I thought, I didn't even think of it at the time. I go, okay, yeah. But now I was thinking, well, he probably already knew. Mm-hmm. He says,
Well, and then the one
you're a
we
healthy young man, and
Yeah.
The one we
These are a
went
little
to
different.
here,
he did the same thing.
he did, and he came across because I was in the room that time. I wasn't at your first one, but the second one, and I just had this feeling because he just kept doing the test, reading it, and I just
Double-checking.
felt like there was this kind of almost shaking his head, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
And he took a lot longer with you, I think
He
he
did,
said. Yeah. And he did actually say that was his first inclination even when we left that day. We walked out and he said, this is what I'm leaning towards is ALS. And we were just,
So that was
We're in
the
shock.
first time you heard that word.
yes.
That's a hard one because I remember the first time we heard the cancer word too, and it's the worst. You're like,
Yeah, you're just
what?
in shock.
You can't really
kind
even
of.
like hear anything else, and you're like, this is so crazy,
Yeah.
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 You think you're going to turn around the corner and they'll say, oh, we missed something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what you hope.
You
Yeah.
really do. And you're
That's
thinking,
what you hope.
yeah, but I can't tell you how many times dealing with our Victory Trip recipients and how they have said that, like when they have a mammogram appointment, they go, I just knew that the way that they acted, they put me in another room. They were like hugging me. They were like, can I get you anything? Like they just knew. It was like this discernment that just went off. And, and then there's other people that are like, oh, no, not even on my radar, But it's a lot of how you're reading that person, You're like, and if you can read a room well enough, they're going to know, like, they're really cautious in how they're saying things and what they're saying, and they're being very sympathetic, and you're like, you haven't even said anything to me yet, but the
Yes.
cancer word was thrown around quite a bit with Ryan when we were in Laird's office, and he was very sweet about, but he didn't like the way some of it looked, and so he was telling us, like, this is what I don't like of it, this is what looks normal, this is what I don't like, but
Right. Yeah.
it doesn't look good. So, so that word it's just scary. It's just one of those things that it just puts you in a tailspin, And so anyway, you went from treatment or all the symptoms, I guess, and then it took you about 9 months, you say, to probably get diagnosed.
Yep. And then that was a local neurologist. And then we went to some ALS specialists up in the Bay Area, University of San Francisco. And they wanted to do their own tests just to double down on it.
Gotcha.
And so, yep.
Okay. And
this guy diagnosed right. And then people up in San Francisco were like, well, wow, he really did a great job
good to know.
doing all these tests, right? Because they went through, they said normally they'll skip a few of them, but you've already, done all that. So,
Okay.
Wow. So ALS, as far as treatment goes, if we go back to when it was diagnosed in Lou Gehrig's, there's no cure for ALS, but there are treatments now. Is that correct?
They're experimental. Yep. They have a drug called Radicava, I believe, that is an option for me, but is pretty invasive. So you have to get a stent, put in or a port, I guess. And then they put the things in. Ridiculously expensive. Works for some people, helps some people, doesn't help others. If I was on that, I would have to stop the other things I was doing. That's the same type of thing with any of the experimental studies. The trials,
yes,
yeah.
They had trials.
Yep. You would have to stop the riluzole and things like that. And right now, I feel like things are progressing slowly. And we have an appointment tomorrow up in Monterey, so see how things are going. But I can feel the muscle spasming, twitching in my upper body a lot more than I did previously.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
that is the
that's the muscles they're just not reacting properly to electronic signals. Yep.
Yeah, so if
And
you
they're
have
searching.
twitches, I
can feel
put
them.
my hand and there's just twitching going on constantly.
And you feel it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she can feel it also.
Yeah. Yeah.
And is that what the medicine helps with? I know the medicine's supposed to
Yeah.
prolong or to, so that you don't have very many of those symptoms, but does it lessen the spasms?
I don't know if it does. I don't.
You don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you could do or take for the muscle spasms?
I don't
No.
I don't know.
You don't
But I don't want to take a bunch of drugs either.
No, Yeah.
I want to feel normal.
yeah.
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 Because you'd end up being like a zombie and
Yeah,
Exactly.
sleeping and,
Yeah.
I don't want to take a certain drug and then take another drug to counteract the symptoms, and it's an ongoing battle, and I don't.
it's a giant circle.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think that's super
So-
smart of you.
Your main thing right now is just positive mindset, continue to do everything you do on a daily basis for as long as you can.
That's exactly right. Yep. And I just want to I don't want my life to shrink. I don't want it to go from 180 and start shrinking this way where I only do a few items.
Right.
I want to keep doing all the things that I like to do. And, sometimes the other day I just took my truck and drove up to Lopez and checked the water
Level.
up there, just for fun.
By the
And
way,
it
how
felt
is
great.
it?
It's doing much better.
Is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good,
So
good.
It was good to see that. But
Yeah.
and I like just getting out in my truck and driving around. I have hand controls and stuff like that. And
Yeah,
Just
remember
got
that-
those
yeah.
in not very long ago.
yeah.
Yeah.
And they're now pretty much second nature for me.
Good.
Yeah.
So that's
It's amazing what they can do. I remember when you showed me your truck, I was blown away that
So cool.
there's that technology, and we've come so far as a country to eliminate handicaps, really.
Yeah.
I mean, we make everything possible for people. It's amazing.
And you're self-sufficient in that. You get in it, you drive, park, get out, everything.
You drove that truck to Tennessee.
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh,
you
yeah.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Christine, you're able to drive it as well.
Yes, yep. You just have to turn it. Well, it's normally just for regular when you normally drive. So when Gary gets in, he has to push a button and then it switches over to the hand controls.
Wow.
So
But you can drive it like normal.
I
and
can
then,
drive it like normal, yeah.
There's a plate that I have to drive with that blocks the pedals for me.
Okay.
Because
So my feet don't hit them.
The gas pedal won't work, but the brake still does. Like if he were to touch the brake. So when I'm driving and I hit the brake, the hand thing moves.
It's just a direct connect.
So they want to make sure, because there's been times where just, your mind from driving this way so long, I'll see him, you put your foot there.
Yeah.
But
his hand. Yeah.
when
Okay.
he's using
Gotcha.
the hand controls. Yeah.
Gotcha.
But
That's awesome. So that's just been second nature then.
Yep.
Okay.
And then got a wheelchair around the house, and that works terrific. Really makes life a lot simpler. So if I forget something in the room, I don't go, oh my gosh. I just roll right in there and grab it
in there.
fast. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
And you redid your bathroom. I saw.
Yes.
Love it.
Yes.
That's been probably life changing, just to be able to
Yeah.
roll in the shower, roll up to the sink, roll up to the closet, like
Yeah.
just
Yep.
makes life
Helps a lot.
easier.
And then now we're getting a platform built to get out in the garage. And we have a little a ramp right now, but we're gonna get a platform and then stick the ramp on the end. That'll help me get around because I like doing stuff out in the garage.
Yeah.
still.
Absolutely.
You have a nice assortment of tools, and it'd be nice to get back to do a little woodwork or something, you know?
Yep.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's great. So, life has changed a little bit, but you've adapted, and like you said, it's all the mindset.
Yeah.
You're not letting a diagnosis define who you are.
Right.
And I think
love
that's
that.
so important.
Love
Yeah. And I draw a lot of inspiration from Ryan, right? I mean, here's a kid, 18 years old, his whole life in front of him. And you guys obviously ran this through your minds 100 times. And look at the attitude that he had.
Yeah.
And his was a giving attitude. And he comes up with this brilliant idea of 17 strong.
Yeah.
What kid that age thinks about
wanted
others
to
in that manner? It's just rare.
Yeah. It's
Super rare.
it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
I mean, I was speaking,
Look at us
I mean,
now.
yeah. I was speaking, I don't know, it's over a year ago, and I posed the question to the audience. How many of you in high school had already figured out a job and were,
Yep.
had planned something already,
Right.
I think maybe 4 hands out of 200 people went up,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because it's very rare that people have that thought or, able to start something. I mean, I think maybe it might be becoming more common now because of social media and with influencers and all the different ways to make money.
Right.
You might see it a little bit more, but not to serve other people like this.
No.
And that's what what amazes me every day is that he was thinking, okay, this happened to me. How can I help other people? You know, and him not even getting it himself, but now we see it all, come to fruition. And it's just amazing that he thought that big, because my mind wasn't even,
Yeah.
I think of us going and doing our first 3 to, we're at 34, every year or most years. And it just blows my mind to think how that changes people's lives. And so it is all about the mindset. It is all about your attitude. And he just took it one step further. Just how can I help others? And I think that's awesome, because you can feel sorry for yourself, and it's just, don't have a pity party. It's not easy, and I understand some days are hard, but and you take those in stride, but for the most part, you get up and you do what you can. And so, I know you're very active. So tell us what you do, like, as an active person right now.
Well, it's, obviously it's tougher because I used to ride bikes and hike and all those things. Can't really do that now. But I would say just trying to do as much as I can around the house, even if it's just cooking and a little bit of this and that. I would like to get out in the garage and stuff. Even the other week when we got the ramp out there, I rolled down, went over and cleaned out the cat box and everything. And I thought, oh, I'm back in the game. I can go in and out. It's not a big deal.
Yes.
Cleaning out the cat box means you're back in the game. We're in trouble.
I know. But I go, okay, that's a step. Here we go. And then I take take pride in figuring out how to do things with the way I'm at right now. Mm-hmm. And I go, oh yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay. I could do that better, or, just getting plates out of the cabinet and whatever it may be.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
So,
right. So you don't think you're going to try to rig your bike into figuring out how to make it work for you?
Well, I could. I couldn't do it myself, but I still I still have hope there. I haven't sold my last bike.
Good.
There you go.
I haven't sold my last bike.
Worst case
Good.
scenario, get a sidecar.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Right. But I do have to tell you, there was a kid at our event, 17 Strong event, and he has. Do you remember what Cody has? He has his mind is sharp as a tack. He's his body. He's always.
Does he have CP?
I think he does. Now that you say that, he walks with canes. He's.
I don't remember what it is.
Depending on the situation.
But he doesn't let anything stand in his way. He just
Kid can snowboard. He drives.
he
that
runs the
lift.
bases.
He runs the bases. I mean, sometimes with his canes, sometimes without his canes. He bowls. I go, how's this kid gonna bowl? He goes out there and he just does it.
He bowls a better game than I do.
I'm telling you, the kid, because his parents don't let him stop him. His disability does not define him. He has a bike and it's low to the ground and he has these pedals, and I'm not really sure how the pedals work, but it's amazing. And the snowboard that they have, or skis that they have for him, I can't remember what it is, but it's kind of up on a little, I'll have to show it to you.
Oh, okay. I think
Amazing.
where he can kind of sit on the
He
thing.
sits
and
on it.
There's a post.
and then
Yes.
his arm braces have skis on the bottom of that.
Yep.
So he steers. It's amazing.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. And he is doesn't let anything stop him. He's what did we just hear recently? He's now the ambassador of Fellowship of Christian Athletes in Colorado.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. He just
Cody.
asked us to come and speak at their event on April 15th.
Yeah.
So Holly and I get to go speak at their
Fellowship of Christian
yeah.
Athletes, but they just hired him as an ambassador. I said, he'll be the best ambassador you have.
Yeah.
Because he's not afraid of anything. And I love that about Cody. But he's had challenges, and it's how you work through those challenges.
Yeah.
Like you said, you figure out how to get the plates down.
Yeah.
You figure out how to, clean the cat. I mean,
We don't have to worry about
we don't
that.
want to, but I
We
mean,
have to clean up the grass.
yeah, right. But I mean, those are that's overcoming things, and they're small things, but in your life, it's a big thing, And so, and so I know the bike situation because I know them pretty well. They love their biking, and I thought maybe you might rig that thing up because
Yeah.
I love that you haven't given up on it yet.
I haven't. Yeah. But
Figure it
the
out.
last time I rode it, I felt pretty insecure.
Sure.
I rode just around the neighborhood, and I thought, I don't think I should be
Doing it
riding through Pismo the way my feet are.
Yeah.
Well, and you have those big high hills too.
Yeah.
around your house, just to go in a circle. There's no flat ground to,
Do you do physical therapy?
I don't.
You don't. So you just try and stay active to keep everything.
Yeah, I just keep
Working.
doing my thing and
Yeah.
try to do as many manual things as I can.
Sure. So that you don't have to do physical
Yeah.
therapy.
Yep.
That's good.
No, that's
And
great.
they kind of caution me against physical therapy.
Really?
Because you can kind of tear down your muscles and they're not going to build back up.
Oh, interesting.
They said just what if you do, just keep it, stretching, real moderate and all those things.
That is
So
I didn't know that.
yeah.
it was I did a few sessions and it would take me like a day or two to recover.
'Cause
Wow.
Yeah. And that's when I really noticed it was tough just to pick my leg up. Like I can bend my knee and do this, but like picking my leg up, kind of with your hip
Hip,
up,
yeah.
would do that. That's where I could do it 10 times. And I was like, wow, that's really weird.
It was exhausting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't have pain with it. It's
No
just,
pain. Zero.
Weakness.
Just weakness.
Weakness.
Yeah.
So no pain,
No pain.
None. I know. Everybody has back pain and things like that, right?
nothing.
No.
Is that typical or atypical with ALS?
That's typical.
It's
Oh, it
typical.
is typical.
It doesn't
Yes.
cause pain. Yeah.
Yes.
We just heard just this week that a little girl got diagnosed with, was she autistic? She's autistic. She's a nonverbal autistic. And this particular little girl does not feel pain. And I don't know if this is just her symptom or if it's all symptoms or whatever, but she's more on the severe spectrum. But it's very hard because any little crash that she does, they have to go in and they have to take x-rays, make sure that there's no bones broke.
Oh,
she wouldn't
right.
know.
She doesn't
wouldn't
know.
know.
She
She
can
would-
skin her knees. She could put her hand over fire. She doesn't feel.
doesn't
There's no
feel it.
association
There's no
between
connect.
Oh,
what's going on and this is ouch. This
Talk
this
about
hurts.
like,
Yeah.
I mean, she learns this is ouch, but yet she gets the scolding from, the severe burn or whatever. It's so you have to go treat that. It's really, I just learned a little bit about that because I was thinking that's terrible. When somebody can tell you my ear hurts, my throat hurts, she can't tell you.
Right.
So, I mean, regular doctor checks, knowing that it could be a huge sinus infection, a huge ear infection, and she doesn't know, So, who gets to take care of her is very hard because, it's the liability of trying to make sure that she stays upright. And she's 2, so that's also another challenge there too. They do 2-year-old things.
Oh my gosh.
So that's crazy. So I didn't know that about ALS. I thought that there was a pain, but there is no pain. It's more of a weakness.
Yep. Just weakening. Yep.
And you guys still travel. You still get her. I mean, you go to Mammoth quite a bit, don't you?
Yes.
Yep. We've gone the last 3 years, I guess. Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
So you still like to get out and enjoy life.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
Do you have anything that you want to do or that on the books recently? Or
I don't know. I probably want to see a few bigger sporting events again. I'd like to go to maybe like the Pac-12 basketball championship, something like that. Maybe we'll look at that not this year, but the following year because we got a few things going on this year. But I love
Yeah,
live
'cause
sports.
you just did the College
Yes,
World
we did.
Series.
Did the College
oh,
World
tell
Series.
us about that.
Yeah.
Tell us about that. I love that.
It was just a ton of fun in my mind. They were long days. We left our Airbnb at 11 and we didn't get back till 11 o'clock at night. So
But how many games did you get to see?
14, 15 games.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then
Including the championship. You stayed through the championship.
Oh yeah. The
It was
whole
like
thing.
2 weeks?
2 weeks. 2 weeks and a little bit more. Yeah.
Cary, Oklahoma, or
No.
Cary,
No.
where?
Omaha, Nebraska.
Omaha.
You're thinking Division 2.
I'm thinking Division 2. Division 2 is where we went to Cary.
Yeah.
But that must have been a ball.
It was, yeah. And
It was. It
met
was
the
a lot of
nicest
fun.
people too. Just
Yeah.
great baseball fans, love it. And it was fun seeing all the different fans coming in for all the other teams.
Yeah.
Ole Miss won it, and those fans were terrific. They supported that team like
Diehards,
nobody's
I
business.
bet.
I've always loved college sports.
Yeah.
And I think the reason I love it so much is it's kids getting to do what they love to do.
Yeah.
Very few of them will ever go beyond that. It maybe
Right.
even if they get drafted, might not ever make it out of the farm system.
Sure.
And then those other ones, you get to see them as a college player, and then in a couple of years go, hey, I watched you win it,
Yes.
the College World Series.
That's right.
Yep. And you see these kids, right, that maybe aren't even the best play, one of the best players on the team, and they get hot during that 2-week period.
Totally.
And you would think they're the by far the best player on the team, but they're not even really on the pros' radars.
Yeah.
Isn't that
And I love to see that too, the unexpected.
Yeah.
the underdog?
Yeah.
The one, I feel like I have the local celebrity, Jeff McNeil, who I feel is the underdog, and look at what he did. He was the, what was it? The batting average champion of the 2022. Like, how cool is that?
Yeah.
But he's just a utility player. He plays, where was he from? Long Beach, the Dirt Devil. What were
The
they?
Dirt Bags.
Dirt
Dirt
bags.
bags, yep.
They were the dirt bags. So
I watched them play Cal Poly this year.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Right. I love that. I love that. And I know he got drafted as a junior, but he went back and he got his degree, and he's doing great for the New York Mets. And I love those stories. Just, he's a celebrity. He's a celebrity here, just a local celebrity. And then you go there. People are crazy about him. They are just so.
Yeah.
They think he's all that, and he is all that. I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
But it's different when he's your hometown hero. But when you go to where you hail from or
Yeah.
you play at, it's just like
next level
Yeah.
stuff. It's just super cool to see it and watch it and feel it. And, we're down on the field because he's giving a Chuck presentation and people are coming up to us and going, how do you know Jeff McNeil? I'm like, he's a local celebrity in our town, like Napomo. It's just great. I love those
Google it. You'll figure it out.
Yeah, exactly.
I know.
So, anyway, I just want to go back to maybe get Christine's take on, did you ever follow Ryan's story? I don't think I've ever, did you meet Ryan?
We did follow his story. I don't recall that we met him. Our nephew, I believe they graduated.
Sean.
The same with Sean, yeah.
St. Dennis was a year older.
Oh, okay.
He was
Wasn't
friends
real.
with all of those kids.
Okay.
Just that group, 2014. He graduated 2015, but he would probably have rather graduated 20, and he was,
All his friends were 2015.
no, he was
2014. Right.
And that was,
Yeah.
St. Dennis was 20.
Yeah.
Because that's where he'd always play baseball with them and football with them.
Football,
Exactly.
Right.
So he went up,
yes.
but he was an October baby, so he was older or within the same, age gap. He was always an
Yes.
older kid for his grade, but we chose to, because either that or he's going to be 4 going into school.
Right. Well, that was
So I
the
was like-
same with Sean. See, Sean his birthday is September, so
He was young.
yes, but I think that I thought that he
Right, because he would have been the same grade as Nathan.
yes, because our son Nathan and Sean, they're cousins, are six months apart, but they were
Different grades.
in different grades. Yes,
Gotcha.
yes. So yes, we would, especially the football. You were talking about that. Just
He stood out on the field to me.
Football?
yeah,
Yeah,
right,
yeah. And that's where I really saw him play. And I thought, that kid loves the game.
Bouncing around back there?
Did you wonder, what the heck is that kid doing?
and his pursuit was unbelievable.
Oh.
Right? Because he
For
would
someone
be,
that wasn't fast, it was unbelievable.
because he never gave up.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. And that's what stood out to me the most.
Yeah.
I was like, that kid, I want that kid on my team.
Yeah, he was fun to watch because I would compare him to Aaron, and Aaron had the thankless jobs as the lineman, So we would be hooting and hollering over Ryan, like he made an interception. And poor Aaron's like, yeah, I only get called on when I did something wrong. So he'd be like, I'm sorry, you did a great block. We're like, thinking,
The kids on the team appreciate that. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially the quarterback when he
Oh, yeah.
doesn't,
A
get
lineman
sacked.
is a thankless position.
Thankless job.
know?
Thankless job. And then Ryan would just do something crazy, and same thing with baseball too. He was either a third baseman or a shortstop, and it was just fun to watch. And he was always, he was just a fun kid to watch. I felt like,
Yeah.
So that was great. So you did follow the story for the most part.
Oh yes, yes.
Okay. Okay. And then you don't remember, because I feel like if you've met him, always somebody had a Ryan story. So
Yes.
there was nothing like that.
No.
No, like introduction or anything like that.
No.
Awesome. Just from the sidelines. So
Yeah.
obviously he did start 17 Strong, and you guys are a part of the 17 Strong. So what is your feelings about, I know we kind of a little bit talked about it, but what are your feelings about what he started and where 17 Strong was and how it's come about into the community and stuff. So kind of both for both of you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said originally, I just think it was a great idea, right? And it was an idea brought about by an 18-year-old kid
Yeah.
going through the worst thing that anyone could imagine. And he's thinking about others. And he sees this void out there
Yeah.
that he could fill, not just for those X number of months, but for years and years.
Yeah.
And you guys are carrying that on. And I truthfully love to see and hear the recipients' stories.
Oh, yeah.
And it can be brutal. I've shed a couple tears out there and then thinking, oh my gosh, these guys went through all that.
Yeah.
And a lot of times they had to do it again. They get cured and then re-diagnosed, and it goes through again. And then, truthfully, I love you guys, but I my heart aches sometimes when I think about when you're hearing those stories, it putting you back into those times.
It does. And you know, we count it all joy, as hard as it is, because he left such a legacy, and it's our joy each and every day to get to fulfill that legacy and make sure that his name and his death are not in vain.
Yeah.
I think that's so important. I mean, and we are changing lives. I mean, Holly just got reached out to from Canada. Hey, have you guys ever thought about coming to Canada?
Yeah, that's a board meeting. Sorry.
Yeah.
You
know.
but
It is. Because there's such a need.
Right. So the first year, how many trips did you have?
3.
3, and now 30 plus.
30. Yeah. 30.
Well, we finished up last year at just under 100.
Yeah. Total.
And we've already approved. So this podcast is the end of January, but it'll be, our listeners will hear it in February. We're already approved 30. The same number.
No, 32.
32?
32 this year.
So 2 less of what we did all of last year.
All of last year.
So, you know,
we're on a great track.
We're on a great track to do maybe 60, depending on how many more come in. But, you know.
But I get to deal with Victory Trip recipients on a very normal basis. And the thing that brings me the joy is that I hate the fact that we have to be connected to cancer. I hate it. But they get to tell me their story, and I get to tell them my story, which does involve how 17 Strong was born. And that is a great story all in itself. And I get to come in on the victory of it. So yes, they might be re-diagnosed, and life after cancer isn't easy, but I get to come in and have the joy of giving them a trip, because cancer has its own issues with, you know, I mean, just financial issues.
Yep.
You know, they're trying to start their career. They're trying to start their family. They're trying to finish college. There's major things in this young adult life that you're just trying to do. And then you have to stop and put it on hold and fight for your life. And you don't know what that looks like. So cancer just robs so much from you and your hopes and dreams. But 17 Strong, we get to come beside you and put back those hopes and dreams, a little piece of it in a trip, because they think, oh my gosh, that's the best thing in the world, you know? And I think of this often is other organizations do kids, and that's what you think of when you're doing cancer, or you hear somebody, it's usually kids or elderly. I don't know why our minds go to that, but it's a true epidemic that these young adults are battling. And when you look at a 4-year-old, an 8-year-old, they just don't know the value of $1. They don't know, oh, great, you're going to send me on a trip and it's going to have Disneyland, and yay, that sounds great. And it's great for them. It is, because they need that. And so does their parents, and so does their family. They need that. But when you give this to a 30-year-old that works their tail off, and they're like, it's a whole different appreciation of, you're going to give me anything that I want to do? Yes. I mean, within reason and within your 3 choices, but yes, there's a whole different ballgame to it.
Yeah.
Like the thankfulness, the gratefulness, the joy, the expectation, oh, I get to look forward to that. It brings that joy back into their life just a little bit. And then they get to go on this trip. They get to reflect. They get to push a reset button. There's so many healing moments to it. So that's what brings me. And of course, I didn't know. First 3, I'm like, I don't want to be doing this. This is the worst. It's like ripping off a scab every single time. But now that I know that need and what it brings for them, it's a full circle of going, my son didn't get to go on a trip, but I get to live it through you. And there is something special about that you get to go and I get to see those pictures, and in honor of my son. Like, there's nothing better. I'm sorry. There's just nothing better. Yeah. And so that is what motivates me. Even though this is not easy, it's not, but I know when God calls you that it's your purpose and your passion, that I'm supposed to be doing it. This is it. This is my calling. So, anyway, I thank him every day. Thank you, Ryan, for leaving me this, because I don't know what I would do if I didn't have it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I didn't have it, you know, I think I would be lost. I think I would be so God knew. He gave me those steps ahead of time. Yeah. And even though I didn't understand it, still don't understand it. I don't feel like I'm ever going to understand it. But And I feel like you feel probably a lot of those same things. You don't understand diagnosis. You don't understand why we get dealt this card. You don't have a choice in this matter. No. You don't have a choice, but you do have a choice of how you react and how you perceive this, because life is precious and now it's all in priority. Like, what am I going to do now? What do I get to do? What do I get to do? You know, and that's why I say, when's your next vacation? Because I want to know, you know, like, what are you going to do next? Because I think that those are neat. That's super cool. Like, so basketball, here you come.
Rose Bowl. And Rose Bowl's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'd like to. Yeah, Rose Bowl would be fun.
Yeah.
But like all vacations, sometimes it's as fun planning it, right, and thinking about it as the actual vacations.
Oh, 100%.
Absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What, as we begin to wrap up, what words of encouragement would you have? This is really to both of you, because I want to hear from Christine, from your perspective, watching your husband go through this. But what would you tell someone that's been dealt a big blow and they don't know what tomorrow holds?
I guess number one is just think about the blessings God has given you already, I guess. For me, they were huge. I've always had a great family, loving parents. My brothers and sisters treated me like the little baby, special baby that I was, 7 years younger than them. And so I thought I was a little bit spoiled in that way. And my whole life I've grown up and people have been friendly to me. I've been friendly to them, had great friend network. And now that friend network, I think, is really coming out all the time. I'm connecting with guys in high school that I haven't seen in quite a while. Just had dinner last night with a buddy of mine. And it's really unbelievable if you just open your life up and let people in, I guess, and just look forward. I've always been a journey kind of guy. I'm not really working towards an end. I'm working towards it, but I'm not looking for the end.
Right. Absolutely.
I want to enjoy the journey the entire way
to get there.
And that's kind of where I've always been. And truthfully, I thank God for that too, because I think if my mindset was a little bit different, I just think you have too many ups and downs in life.
Yeah.
Sure.
100%.
Sure.
Yeah. I just enjoy every day and thankful for it. So
yeah, I think that's great.
Christine, what would you add?
Yeah, it's definitely been hard. And sometimes it is scary thinking of what's ahead, you know. But I do kind of take Gary's lead on that, just because he is always very positive and tries to look at the best in situations. So where I can tend to go to that place that's, you know, a little more scary and overwhelmed, and but it's been a process, you know, to think back of just from the beginning to watch this, and it has been slow, which progressing, which is great. So we're thankful for that, and we just hope it continues, you know, to move slowly, and just taking one day at a time. Because if you go too far out, it can be overwhelming. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we say that time and time again.
Time and time again.
You take 1 minute, you know, 1 hour, 1 day, 1 week.
But honestly, like, think about it before your diagnosis. Did you know what taking one day at a time looked like? Because I didn't.
Yeah, we were always planning ahead. Yeah, and too far ahead, and thinking and worrying about things that we shouldn't worry about.
100%.
Yeah.
I did not know or understand what it meant living one day at a time until I had to do it. And it's brutal. It's brutal. It's one of those things where it's like, you know, but it really does teach you a lot. And where, you know, you don't know what tomorrow holds. So you're going to live today. And then you're going to do the same thing, you know. And of course, you do have to plan some doctor's appointments and different things that you got to do. And I understand that. But living one day at a time, there is something to be said about it. And I don't think the average person understands that till they've had to live it. It's just a very interesting way to look at it. And it's It's crazy to me to think that, but
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, Gary, Christine, thank you very much. Ryan always said attitude is everything.
Yes.
It's,
Always.
it's,
I've got that shirt.
yeah.
attitude is everything.
And you're living that example.
Absolutely.
And thank you, because just what you're going through and seeing what you're going through and seeing your attitude, you're an example to me.
Absolutely. Inspired
So,
me.
yeah.
Inspired
So,
me.
Brian's,
so much.
Brian's been an inspiration to all of us.
Well,
Thank you
thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you. So, Christine, thank you. I know this wasn't on your bucket list to do,
Yeah, but you did great.
but you did
good.
awesome.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
And such a good support team. And I think that
Yeah.
that brings it all full circle too.
Yeah.
Oh, it does.
And,
Our
and
family
it's not just support.
and
You know,
friends
it's enjoyment.
Absolutely.
I mean, I enjoy being around all these people.
Yes.
They're not just there helping me. I
100%.
enjoy it.
Yeah.
I enjoy life
Gives you
with
something to
these
look
people.
forward to.
I love that.
Yep.
And one thing that you
Yes.
did say earlier is that he has such a positive attitude that it kind of just bleeds over to you. And that's one of the things that Ryan, because I was having such a heartache and my stomach would hurt and my everything would hurt. And I just was in this state of depression. But when I was around Ryan, it made me feel so much better.
Yeah.
So he just gave me this energy that I couldn't get myself. So I understand that is that you let him lead by that. And it really does help. It really does make a big difference. But, and you just live your one day at a time. Like you said, you live your one day at a time and you can only handle today. So
That's it.
yep.
So with that, we will wrap up our 17 Strong podcast. Thank you to all of our listeners, to our studio engineer, Mr. Nate Hand. Thank you, Nate.
Thank you.
And to all of our listeners, remember, victories don't come by accident.
You've been listening to 17 Strong. Victories don't come by accident. To be part of the show, make a donation, or request more information, go to 17strong.org.